guys, Dave here with Windy City Dent Repair. So today I'm going to be giving you 3 different books that I found super inspirational over this past year. Let's get to it. The first book that I want to recommend is going to be The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Robert Greene is a New York Times best-selling author, and he's written many other books that have helped so many people over the course of the last couple of years. He's written a couple books such as Mastery, The Art of Seduction, and even on here, The 48 Laws of Power. This book here has allowed me to take a step back when I'm actually communicating with someone and allow for a more open flow of communication. It's allowed me to, in that little snapshot when I'm talking to someone, take myself out of that conversation for a quick second to really allow myself to reply with what someone is really needing from me at that moment in time. It's allowed me to become a strategic observer of people. When someone is communicating with you, they're going to be displaying some sort of trait, some sort of characteristic that you may not understand why they're acting like that or where that's coming from. And this just gives you a lot of characteristics of people and how they portray themselves on the outside and what they may actually be feeling on the inside. I really recommend this book, The Laws of Human Nature. It's a very thick read. It's about 600 pages. I don't think you're going to be able to get through it within a couple of sittings. It's going to take a while to get through and actually retain this information, but highly recommended, once again, The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. The second book that I want to recommend to you guys is going to be Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Ryan Holiday was actually an apprentice under Robert Greene for a number of years, doing research for him for a couple of his other books, also including The Laws of Human Nature. What this book has allowed me to do is, quote unquote, check that ego at the door. A lot of people are really quick to say check that ego, but don't really understand what that means. We all possess it in some way, shape, or form. What this book has taught me is to always be a student, taking that ego out of myself, always trying to gain more knowledge, always trying to find a better way to do things. It gives a lot of examples of people throughout the years, people in history, and the way ego has affected them. One story in here is about Richard Nixon and the whole Watergate scandal, and the way ego really played out in that whole situation. So I really highly recommend this book. It's a smaller read than the previous book, The Laws of Human Nature, that I recommended. You can probably get through this in a couple of sittings and be able to retain the information very well. Ego, and it is the enemy of ambition, of success, and resilience. It's allowed me to always be a student. It's always allowed me to kind of check that ego at the door and be able to really come at a conversation properly, really come to the table with the right words to say due to not wanting to reply right away. It's allowed me to kind of be able to take a step back and listen a little bit more as someone's talking to me. And what do they really want from me? What are they really looking for? So Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday is another highly recommended book by myself. So the third and final book that I do want to recommend to you guys doesn't really pertain to business or human interaction like these 2 others. This was a book that I randomly found at the bookstore. I started flipping through it, and I just really got engaged with a couple of the pages in the story, and the back really kind of captured me. But to sum it all up, Tales of a Female Nomad by Rita Gelman is about a woman who was married for quite a long time to her husband, 2 successful children, but just was not finding fulfillment within her life. She wasn't living the life that she envisioned for herself. She wasn't happy where she was at. So at 48 years old, her and her husband decided to take a 2-week break from each other. And that actually led to years of traveling around the world. What this book has allowed me to do is to put myself in her shoes and walk with her through all these different countries and all these different experiences that were giving her true fulfillment in her life. In this day and age with the hustle and bustle and the grind and the 24/7 social media that's always going on, we always have this sense of maybe we're not good enough or we're not living the life we thought we would. This is a book that goes to show that at any moment in time we can really live the life that we want and that will be the most fulfilling. So it's a very fun read. Like I said, Tales of a Female Nomad. It's not going to be for everyone, but it is a fun little book to kind of allow yourself to take a step back, put yourself in someone else's shoes, travel around a little bit, and take her point of view of an established woman. She has a master's degree. She writes children's books. Her husband had a doctorate. But, you know, when it came down to it, those things really weren't giving her what she wanted. And so she decided to take her life in her own hands and go ahead and travel the world. Tales of a Female Nomad by Rita Gelman. Highly recommended. I'll put a link in the description for all of you guys to these books, as well as all the books that are on this shelf right here. You'll find that on my kit.com called What's on the Shelf. And you can see the books that are on this shelf that I've read or plan to read. So take a look at those. If you guys have any questions or comments or need more recommendations, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one.